Before taking multicultural education, I saw race as a taboo subject, as stated in Tatum's article, since race is an interesting, important, and also controversial topic. While looking back, I was uncomfortable talking about racial identity, either of my own or somebody else's. One of the reasons was that I was afraid of others misinterpreting my opinion. And I also grew up in a monocultural environment until my final year of middle school, so I wasn't much exposed to different culture or diversity. At school, there weren't any classes that taught us anything about multicultural education. But after moving and living at different places, I started to see a bit more about race. One thing was that we tend to associate people simply based on their skin color. We might also look at people based on their culture, language, nationality, or maybe even religion. Then we assume that one category is better than another, even though we're genetically similar to one another by more than 99%, as mentioned in the TLC's Understanding Race video. Some people would rank themselves into hierarchies based on race, and by doing so, we start to see the problems of prejudice, stereotypes, and racism in our society. I also learned that the system of hierarchies has been changing since our society is becoming more multicultural. Throughout the course, I began to understand more on race as I learned about different issues relating to racism and discrimination. After reading Spring's text, Deculturalization, and the Struggle for Equality, I came to an understanding that race is primarily a social construct. One of the biggest challenges in the development was overcoming the resistance in learning process. I imagined if there's an environment at school where students could freely discuss complex issues without any consequences, then more people would become comfortable talking about race. After taking this course, I've become more aware of issues relating to race in our society. For example, I've now noticed the invincible white privileges as described in the McIntosh's article. When racism is a part of everyday life, as in unearned male privileges, I begin to see in my head Dr. Raible's lecture on various forms of oppression, in which the roles of oppressors and the oppressed can change at any time. One final thought I have developed from this course is that these forms of oppression, such as racism, sexism, classism, etc., can be challenged if we recognize the unearned privileges as we fully become aware and understand race. I believe we all have a responsibility to recognize how these can affect our society in order to reconstruct the social system.